In this video, I'm going to be looking at the Sennheiser Momentum Wireless. So first of all, having a look at the packaging here, it's clearly aimed at the audio enthusiast, in my opinion. So I'm going to take this out now. You have like a layer of foam here. Here is the carrying case here. As carrying cases are concerned, it's a little bit thick. So for reference, I have the Sony WH-1000X case here for comparison. So it's quite a lot bigger. And here is the Beats Studio case for comparison. Again, it's quite a lot bigger as well and thicker. Okay, so if you're limited on space, then probably not the best for you. So just move this out of the way. Opening these up now. You get inside here. You have another little sack here, little case for your headphones. Like a little pouch in here, which comes with like various cables. I think it's a 3.5mm cable and an in-flight adapter. So here is the little pouch that you get as well, doubling up the security. And here are the headphones themselves. They're a folding design, just like this, and they come with little sponges as well, little piece of foam inside the cups to protect them further. But it's just a normal folding design, as you can see, kind of like the Beats Studio 3. First impressions of these headphones is that it's very clear that it's very well made. This is like a leather headband at the top, so it's unusual compared to some other products in the industry where you have like a really thick layer of insulation, but you can tell it's very high quality. These cups as well, it feels like real leather, which is nice. I think there are meant to be some benefits of protein leather, but I think real leather is nice as well for the premium kind of feel. The cups, the plastic kind of cups here, to me it seems very, very robust as well when compared to other products like the Beats and the Sony 1000s. It just feels, there's something like a solid feeling to it. I can just kind of feel it. And the headband, I think, yeah, the cups themselves are the things that actually slide up and down. So it's not the headband that moves, it's the cups that move, which is quite cool. Okay, so that is the packaging and the case. So as for features of this headphone, it is a noise cancelling headphone, which Sennheiser calls Noise Guard. It has Bluetooth 4.0, which is getting on a bit now, but it will do, I guess. There is NFC as well, so you can just touch your phone here on that little NFC badge there, and it will automatically connect to the Bluetooth on your phone. The other thing is that it has a 3.5mm input, so you can actually use these headphones when it's not in wireless mode. Okay, the Beats Studio 3 do not have this feature. So I think that's personally a very good feature. The other thing it has is a 22-hour battery. I think it's a 22-hour battery. Here we go. 22-hour battery, and I think that's in noise cancelling mode as well. And it also supports aptX codec as well. For features, it's pretty, in my opinion, it's pretty standard. Nothing really kind of jumps out there. I think these headphones were designed for the sound. It has micro USB, okay, which again is getting on a bit. Not too much of a problem, but it would have been nice to be USB-C, but I think these headphones are a bit old now, but still obviously in production. The ear cups themselves, they're actually removable, so you can always go to Sennheiser's website and get a replacement pair, which I think is very nice. The style of the headphone I think is extremely nice. I think it's very retro, and I think it's, you know, geared again more towards the audio enthusiast. I would say it's fashionable because it's got like a retro look, but it's not the same kind of fashion as the Beats Studio 3 or the Beats Solo. So, you know, it really depends on what you're buying these for. If you're buying them to show off, then it's probably not the right sort of thing for you. But I think the style is really nice, and in the cream color, it's very nice. I think it looks extremely nice. I was gonna buy those ones, but they were about £100 more expensive, so I just bought these ones instead. The comfort of the headphones, I've actually tried these on just earlier, and so far this is for me definitely the most comfortable of the 3 headphones I've tested recently. I've tested the Beats Solo, the Beats Studio, and the Sony WH-1000Xm3. I've tried these, and for me these are the best for comfort. And this leather headband, you may think that it's not very, you know, like padded, but trust me, it's just very nice on the head. Most pro headphones actually don't come with a massive layer of insulation, so I think that's probably like some sort of gimmick, to be honest with you. And the price of these was actually £175, which I think is very good considering that Beats and Sony are selling theirs for £270. Okay, so that's the unboxing and features bit done. The next 2 sections of this video is going to be about the sound quality of the headphones and also the noise cancelling ability of these headphones. I'm going to compare them directly to my other sets. I'm back for the sound test of the Sennheiser Momentums, and in doing that, what I found is that you can't actually turn off the active noise cancellation when it's in wireless mode. So what you have to do, if you want noise cancellation off, you have to plug a 3.5mm jack cable in, and you have to turn the headphones off. So for me, I think that's a little bit of a minus, because the noise cancellation does interfere with the sound. It can have negative effects as well as positive ones. Personally, I'm going to be comparing these to the Sonys, and that's already a +1 to the Sonys, because with these you can turn the noise cancelling on and off. Also, what I've noticed, just by putting these on, I can hear a very slight hiss when there's no music playing, and that's the noise cancelling algorithm running in the background. And I didn't hear that on the Sonys, but I did hear that same effect on the Beats Studio 3. So just like a caution there. When there's no sound, you can hear kind of like a sort of sound. I'm now going to do the audio test. I'm going to do the same playlist as I did before, and I'm going to switch back and forth between the Sonys and these. I'm not going to test the Beats because in my opinion the Beats are inferior to the Sonys. So there you go. I'm testing these against the Sonys. So first song is Click by Kanye and Jay-Z. Okay, so first impressions, they sound very good. They've got that typical Sennheiser sound, I think. I did break the headphones in before I started this test, so 2 or 3 hours I think is enough. Some people say to break them in for a day, but I think even if just a few hours makes a big difference. So now I'm going to switch to the Sonys. Okay, so first impressions is that the Sonys are a little bit brighter than the Sennheisers. The Sennheiser's definitely warmer. The resolution on the Sonys sound a little bit higher than the Sennheisers. That could be just because they're a more trebly headphone. I was a little bit more aware of the reverb in the track on that particular track. And yeah, I think the Sennheisers are a little bit better balanced. So I'm moving on to the next track now, going back to the Sennheisers. Okay, and now I'm going to go on to the Sonys. Okay, with that one I'm hearing, with the Sony, bass heavy and slight boost in treble. The Sennheiser's more neutral, bit warm at the top. Actually, I think with that one, the Sennheisers seemed like there was a bit more of a soundstage on that track as well. Again, with the Sonys, it's like the resolution in the audio is a little bit higher than the Sennheisers, just a tad. So moving on to the next song now, back to the Sennheisers. Okay, so that track was a UK grime track, so there's a big bass line in there and there's lots of sound effects going on. Basically everything is synthesized sounds. So vocals sounded better on the Sennheisers. They sounded a bit more realistic. On the Sonys they sounded clearer, but they sounded a little bit more nasal. The bass sounded balanced on the Sennheisers. They sounded probably as they're meant to sound, but on the Sonys they sound, I think, more like what people would want from that sort of track. The bass line was like a lot more strong and present. So yeah, I don't really know which one I would prefer. It would really depend on what mood I'm in. So I think probably the Sennheisers are better because you could always equalize them later to get that bit of extra energy out of them, which I think is preferable, because then you have the option to, the standard is good and you can equalize it, rather with the Sonys, I think they're too excited sounding and you're probably going to have to equalize it a little bit more often to get it back to balanced, if that makes any sense. So yeah, for me, I think the Sennheisers are probably better on that track. Okay, so hearing both of these, that's a very hard choice because they're both doing a very good job of it and they both have their own kind of take. Sennheisers are going with a more warm, kind of classic sort of sound. But when I first heard them, I thought there's no way the Sonys are going to better it. But when I put the Sonys on, I'm starting to hear more detail. I'm starting to hear more effects going on, like a soundstage and like stuff going around me. The soundstage is wider and there's more separation, I think. So that really is up to you. When it came to, you know, what the vocals, which sounded more realistic, I'd probably say the Sennheisers. You know, the Sonys, they have a more kind of digital kind of vibe to it, and it's, I mean, it still sounded good, to be honest with you. So, you know, that one is a very difficult one to judge. Again, the Sony's exaggerating some of the features of the track, like the bass line, the bass guitar in that track was definitely a lot more prominent on the Sonys. Okay, so I'm going to give that one to the Sennheisers. I think the electric guitar sounded a lot more realistic, and how much I like to hear it more like that, to be honest with you. The soundstage, I think I'm going to have to go with the Sennheisers again. They sounded a little bit wider to me, and I could place the instruments a lot better. It's really strange how when you listen to different tracks, you get different results. But that's what I heard. The Sennheisers are just a balanced headphone, and just they're doing a good job, basically. The Sonys are also very good as well. It's just they just sound more exciting to listen to, and that's the difference between these two headphones, I think. They're both doing a good job. With the Sony, I heard a little bit of sibilance on the drums as well. But it was negligible, to be honest. It was very, very small. The Sennheisers were just neutral, verging on overbass very, very slightly, and the Sonys were overbass by like double. So, but not to the point where it becomes nasty to listen to. So I'm going on to the next track now. This time I'm going to start with the Sonys. Okay, on that track, it's unquestionable for me. The Sennheisers better. Okay, Dire Straits, Your Latest Trick, instrumental track. The Sonys, the bass was overblown to the point where it was kind of drowning the track. Like there was a kind of resonance effect. Okay, because it's over bass. Okay, it's not synthesized bass, so you know when it's like real bass that's literally been played by a real instrument live in concert, you can hear that it doesn't sound right. And it's okay with synthesized tracks like hip hop and all that sort of music, but when it comes to recreating what it would have sounded like there, the Sennheisers are much better. The trumpet sounded better in that song, and also the sax sounded like buttery smooth. The Sony didn't stand a chance for me on that track. Okay, so moving on to the next one, it's going to be a metal track, Paranoid by Black Sabbath. I'm going back to the Sennheisers. Okay, so after looking at both of these headphones on that track, Paranoid by Black Sabbath, Sennheiser's better for me. Simple as that. It sounded more realistic. The guitar didn't overpower the track on the Sonys. The guitar had a tendency to overpower the track a bit, and the kick drum as well. Again, it's that over bass. You know, I know you can equalize it, I know you can turn it down, but again, I like to have the headphone neutral and then equalize how I like to hear it based on the track. I'd rather do that than the headphones already come equalized incorrectly for me out of the box. But it's just unbelievable when you're putting the headphones on, how much quieter it sounds around you even before the music has started playing on the Sonys. It's just like the noise cancelling, I think, is just going to be better on the Sonys. You can hear it and there's no hiss like there is on the Sennheisers. So going on to the next part of the test is going to be the noise cancelling test with the plain ambient sound. So yes, moving on to that now. Okay, so I'm back for the next part of this video, which is the noise cancelling test. And so on my surround system right now, I have an airplane cabin noise that I've set to 75 decibels, which is about the right decibel level on an airplane. So I've got the Sony 1000X headphones Mark III and the Sennheiser Momentum Wireless with me right now, and I'm going to test the noise cancelling ability of these two headphones. So I'm going to do that right now. Here we go. Okay, test concluded, and I think the Sonys are better. They're both cutting out the the bass frequencies and the mid frequencies fairly well. It's the treble frequencies where the Sony is making it the most of the difference. There's just a very, very little bit of sound remaining, whereas with the Sennheisers you can hear there's more to it. So what I'm going to do now actually is I'm going to test the Sennheisers against the Beats Studio 3 on the noise cancelling feature, because I'd like to see how, where the Sennheisers are on that scale. So I'll be back in just a second. So I'm now back with the Beats Studio 3 headphones, and I'm going to test the noise cancelling ability of this headphone against the Sennheiser Momentums. So just going to make sure they're on. Okay, so without doubt the Sennheisers are better than the Beats Studio 3 at noise cancelling. With the Sennheisers, the only thing that really remains is the wind noise, that sort of sound. Whereas the Beats, you still have the bass of the aircraft. It's kind of still there, lingering. The Sony is obviously the best out of all of these three. So if that's the most important feature to you, get the Sony. However, I have heard that for some people it can be a little bit uncomfortable because the noise cancellation is so strong that it can cause kind of like a pressure effect in your ears. So you need to test that before you commit to buying it. So what do I think of these headphones? What do I think of the Sony 1000X Mark III against the Sennheiser Momentum? If you're after sound quality, personally, if you want like a hi-fi headphone that sounds balanced and good, you're going to pick the Sennheisers. It is a kind of, it is the hallmark kind of brand really in audio headphones anyway. So if you're used to the Sennheiser sound, this is the one you want to go to. The Sonys are doing a good job as well with the audio. It's just, to me, it's not as good as the Sennheisers. But the Sonys have other things going for them. They've got better noise cancellation. They fold as well, a lot flatter, so better for transporting them. They have more features as well. The Sony has a very good app on your phone where you can control the equalization and you can control the ambient noise and all that sort of stuff. They have touch sensitive controls where you can kind of do this and you can do that to kind of interact with the headphones. Some people might like that, some people might not. I'm kind of really indifferent as long as it works, to be honest with you. The Sennheisers, I did like the fact it had like a rocker switch for the audio, for the volume. Sorry, you might be able to just see that there. Okay, so you can like slide it forward for up and down, whereas the Sonys you've got to kind of go like this and like that, and I just feel like you've got a little bit less control doing that. Comfort wise, I think for me the Sennheiser long term is better. The Sonys at first when you put them on, it feels a little bit like as it goes right round the ear, it just feels a little bit nicer at first, but the Sennheisers for me, I can just tell they're long-term listening headphones. So also my kind of face and ears like heated up more with the Sonys in general. So yeah, I mean with the Sonys as well, you've got some more features like I think the Bluetooth is either 4.2 or 5.0, I forgot which one it is, but it's definitely higher than the Momentums. It also has USB-C, so if you're more of a techie sort of person, the Sonys are good. If you're more into your audio and you want a good pair of headphones wherever you go, then get the Momentums. I think these are better, and these are the ones that I'm going to be keeping myself, because to me the audio is the reason why I bought the headphone. And also the other thing is the price of these are a lot cheaper as well. These were 175, these were 275, and I prefer the audio on this. So yeah, that's made my decision a lot easier actually. Sennheisers for me, Sonys unfortunately are going to be sent back now. So anyone have any questions, just let me know and I'll get back to you. Also, this is a new YouTube channel and I need some support at the moment, so if you can subscribe and do good stuff like that and like it, whatever, that would really help and I'd appreciate it. So yeah, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next episode.